Losing on. Losing on. You gotta get yourself one of these little lapel microphones. It makes the audio come in just crystal clear. Like this. Well, this is my first vlog, and going into this, I was kind of hesitant at first because you have this tendency, no matter where you are, to kind of put on a face, whichever is the most fitting of the environment. And this vlog, I wanted to be absolutely genuine. The real, authentic Ryan, you know. And I'm extremely happy that we're doing this too, because as we've talked about friendship maintenance, at like texting and calling or even Snapchatting, I've gotten very much out of that habit. It kind of makes me a bad friend, but this is a really creative way to keep life updated. And the biggest benefit that I see is we will now have a document of our lives that we get to share with not only other people, but perhaps future children. Or maybe the YouTube channel is just gonna take off and we're gonna make millions of dollars, travel the world, I don't know. The point of this first vlog is to give you the update on what I've been up to in the past couple weeks. Obviously, you kind of know what I've been doing these past couple weeks because I've told you the whole way through. And this is just the video version of it. This video is intended to break down my family Colorado trip. Ignore the hair, it's real fluffy and it's just out of control now. So yeah, let's get into it. Colorado. So the Colorado trip was with my family. It was my mom, stepdad, Quinn, Meg, and my stepsister, Maddie. And the whole purpose of the trip was to have kind of one last hurrah, as I am in my 20s, Quinn's in her 20s, Meg is about to graduate. Scratch that. She did graduate. Congratulations, Meg. We're all very proud of you. On the first day, we drove all the way to Denver and just kind of explored the downtown area.
Hopefully that John Denver's not full of shit, man. Evidently, we were promised the best view of Denver, but they were just talking about a side. Very underwhelming, but I'm still satisfied. But anyway, we're gonna get some Starbucks. We're gonna walk around a little more, see what we see. There's a lot of Lime scooters around here, so I'm kind of excited to just zippity-doo-dah around, you know what I mean? Everybody likes their Starbucks. Hubba hubba, empanadas, ooh la la. I imagine this is an accurate depiction of Sarah and I in 3 years. We're cool. But one of my favorite components to traveling is finding these outdoor strip malls. There are shops, there are restaurants, the hotel is right around the corner, and it just feels very open and with a lot of breathing room. And I wish we had something closer to where I live, like this.
Here's an opinion for you. Denver is amazing. Denver is quite a city. I really like the outdoor patio and marketplace area. We stopped at a Mexican restaurant and I got the biggest jalapeno margarita to start off that vacation. On the second day, we started to pack up and actually go to the condo that we rented out. It was mostly just setting up, getting things together, and ready to have the time of our lives, you know what I mean? On the third day is when the adventure really started.
All right, so today we are in Vail, Colorado, about to go on our first whitewater rafting gig with the Colorado Adventure Center. I'm extremely grateful that my family decided to put this together. And the last time I went whitewater rafting, I believe I was 7, maybe 8 years old. So I was placed in the front, which was really, really cool, but it was also the hardest position. And I almost fell in a couple times, and that water is just absolutely freezing. It's all runoff from the melted snow of the mountains, and yeah, there's really just no getting around how cold it is. I'm extremely grateful for this trip. One of the reasons being that my family still cares enough to get all of us together to take adventures like this and do something out of the ordinary. And I'm extremely proud that my family wants to adventure like that instead of just living the mundaneness or just doing, you know, weekend activities. But break the cycle and try something new for a change. But enough chit chat. Let's get tropical.
I forget which gorge we went down, but there's definitely water. The cool part about whitewater rafting, when you have a big group like that, the group is relying on the effort of every individual person to ensure that death doesn't happen. Our guide was absolutely phenomenal as well. Our guide was telling us about her life and come to find that there is a whole community of adventurous people out there. These people will spend a season of their time guiding or doing all these adventurous activities for work, while they have a community of tents and campers and travel vehicles where they stay afterwards. It's kind of a cool thing to pursue after college. Just make ends meet and have a real good time doing it. And that's something maybe it interests me in the future, do like a year of whitewater rafting guiding. What was cool too is one of the guides during the winter actually teaches dog sledding in Alaska. Now that would be day 4. On day 4, we did our first major hike up Booth Falls. I think it was 2.5 miles upward, and nothing like a hike to remind you how out of shape you really are.
Out here on Booth Falls in Colorado. It's pretty sick, but it really hurts my calves, buns and thighs.
The hike was brutal. You had to pace yourself, you had to go slowly, take so many breaks just to get to your destination. Obviously, that's not everybody's case. Just, if you're like me, mediocre talent, very little athletic ability, it was hard. Walking up that mountain, it was not a classic R. Kelly situation. My mind was telling me no, and my body was also telling me no. But it was worth it. There was a little inkling in the back of my head that said I might be able to do it, and that's all I was running on, was maybe I can do it. So I just took one step further and one step further. I didn't care that my shins were on fire. I didn't care that I had to poop really bad. I just kept going.
We made it to the top.
We did it.
Amazing.
Getting to the top was absolutely phenomenal. Sitting there with my family. I was really proud of Meg. I'm not saying Meg is less athletic or physically able than me, but I mean, I did get there first. Just kidding, Meg. I'm really proud of you that you made it up the mountain. Day 5 was whitewater rafting in Echo Canyon. Now that's just a loaded sentence right there. Oh, what'd you do this summer? I went whitewater rafting in Echo Canyon. Get off me. It was far superior than the first whitewater raft. Obviously the first whitewater raft was a lot of fun, but in Echo Canyon it was a lot more sightseeing. I wish I had footage of it, but forever it's just gonna sit up in this flash drive. Day 6 we went horseback riding just through the mountainy areas, and what I really noticed about Colorado, you can find any spectrum of landscape you really want. You can choose between mountains, there is obviously water reservoirs, there's snow, there is savanna grass, dry grass, just about anything you could really imagine. My horse was named Nugget, which is an adorable name, by the way. Maybe it's a good name for a child, I don't know. Come here, Nugget. I'm about to scold you. But Nugget was a phenomenal horse, and I like to kind of get out of the horse trail line. When you do a paid horseback riding thing, you're generally on a trail behind other horses, and so me being a little more adventurous, I would go off the path a little bit and then, you know, kick Nugget to go a little faster, maybe get a brisk jog in there. But I got yelled at 3 times, and that is okay. After the horseback riding, there was a winery right on the Dude Ranch, and the guy who owned the winery, he was in the midst of building all of these small-scale properties, like 400-unit properties, to house some of the people who worked in the Colorado tourist area. Obviously, if you want to live in the Colorado tourist area, it's really expensive. This guy is trying to capitalize and provide homes for these people who need affordable living. So kudos to him, and it's a good business move, to be honest with you. Sarah and I, we got a flight of their wines. Usually when I go to a brewery, and this was actually my first time at a winery, I tend to want to try everything that they got. You know, I want to season my palate, you know. Afterwards, I was a little tipsy, and that's always a fun experience, being tipsy around the family, you know. Maybe something comes out of your mouth that you don't mean, maybe you do mean it. Drunk words are sober thoughts. Regardless, it was phenomenal wine, and I would highly recommend it. Do I remember what it was called? No. So, find it on your own. Day 7 was kind of just the chill day. Like, we have been spending all week doing major activities, going from a sedentary lifestyle of coronavirus quarantine to a week full of strenuous activities. Bit of a transition, and it hurt a lot. My cheeks were steel. But even though that happened, my rambunctious sister Quinn's like, let's go on a morning hike. So we found a path not too far from our condo. It was about another 2.5 miles and was far more of a forest walk. See the vegetation and foliage of Colorado and walking through paths that were just surrounding you by the wave of green. It was far harder to breathe because I have allergies. Allergies suck. And it really hurt this time. But we made it. Just as I said before, there's a little inkling says maybe I can do it, and I was able to do it. And after day 7, the next day, I got dropped off at the airport to start the next week in Portland, Oregon, where guess what? You are. I hope you knew that. You are in Portland, Oregon. Sorry. I just don't really know how to vlog. Feels like I'm talking to myself. Maybe I'm trying to put on an act. Maybe I'm trying to be funny. I don't really know. I'm just kind of going for it. Overall, highly encourage going to Colorado. You really get to check off all your boxes of a strenuous, adventurous vacation when you go there. Not to mention, I gotta hand it to Colorado. Their color schemes for their shirts, their stickers, everything, it's got like those colored stripes and stuff, you know? I am just so with it. They really just nailed it with those color schemes and keeps you coming back, really. But in conclusion, I am absolutely grateful that my family still wants to do those types of things. Family is extremely important, and on this trip, it was a collision of two of my biggest values, family and nature. And when you get to do both, well, everything else is just a bonus. The second big conclusion is leading into the exercise component. I know we talked about starting this channel as an accountability tool for us to get to a level where we have usable muscle, to pursue those adventures such as hiking and whitewater rafting, all the outdoorsy stuff, without hating ourselves, you know? I don't need to look chiseled. I don't need to be Arnold Schwarzenegger-esque. I just want to be able to walk up a mountain and not hate myself. Leading me into the fitness challenge that we're gonna start. We're gonna do this, okay? In Oregon, you have a lot of hiking trails, so you are very lucky. So I challenge you this week to do 10 miles of hiking throughout the week. You could do intermittent small ones if you like, otherwise you could do a couple just really big ones. Regardless, hit that 10-mile mark and you've already reached a baseline. You're already starting on this journey of building a positive habit. When you unify exercise with activities you actually want to do, it doesn't really feel like exercise as much as it is, I'm just doing this because I want to do it. And the exercise and the fitness component are just an added bonus. And I think that's a really good way to look at life. Do the things you want to do. Everything else is just a bonus. So this week, 10 miles of hiking. On top of that, real quick, we talked about this gravity stretching program that I bought into. It's talking about in 4 weeks, they are going to make you twice as flexible. Mobility is absolutely key in exercise. If you can't move, then I think you get it. So 10 miles of hiking and let's say 3 days of the stretching program. The stretching program only takes 15 minutes. 3 days is the goal. If you go past that, kudos to you. Let me end this video by saying I miss you. You're gonna have an incredible time out there. Home is where the heart is, so establish your heart there. And I think everybody else will follow. Remember, master plan, let's get all the family slowly to the coast instead of Minnesota. You're on to bigger things and we're extremely proud of you. I'm extremely proud of you and frankly a little bit jealous of you because I gotta stay here for another couple semesters. That's why you Got to keep me in tune so I can live vicariously in Portland, Oregon. Looking forward to the next video. Remember, don't forget to bring the fucking thunder. So I just woke up this morning and I've been still thinking about our vlog channel's logo, and I came up with a super duper quick sketch. I thought, what would be a good idea? You know, there's two L's in parallel, and what if I make them parallel lines and then add lives to it, you know? That sounds really creative. And that turned into PowerPoint. I don't own Photoshop, and I don't really know how to use Photoshop, so I just used PowerPoint to draw up this little logo. I also designed it with a colored background, and what's cool about this is obviously you can just change the colors and have yourself a little rave.